Good day, everybody. I hope everybody's doing very well. I recently made a clip on the resettlement camp, which is spelled as GAM, and the living conditions of these people that are there. And I did mention these are the effects of genocide because these are people that were repatriated from Botswana back to Namibia. And as much as there are so many stories to one thing, there are a few people that came to question the validity of the living conditions. Now, I want, and these are all up in my comments on my Facebook page, which is Paradigm Shift with Mashallah, for those of you who don't know. If you're seeing this on other platforms except for the Facebook page, I want to say a few things. Be kind, be mindful. Nobody that's an adult would just not try and not do anything to make their own lives a better, to have a better living condition. There's a few things that happened. So when they were repatriated, there were a few promises made by government. Quite a few big names were mentioned. One of the things was they couldn't move with their cattle. They could move with horses or their donkeys, but not the cattle because of the red line situation. Quite a few things were mentioned about they were gonna be moved to another like remote village, and it is far, but also like the water condition, like getting water, getting cars for somebody to actually travel this side because their cars have not even been registered or registered with the Namibian system. So they do have cars, but it's under that the Botswana number plate, and that's a whole process. And since they've been back, this hasn't been tackled as much as they were promised it would be. Now, the camp itself is about maybe 5 kilometers away from Gum itself, where there's a clinic. And the clinic, you have a nurse that's stationed there. And this is according to what we were told, a nurse, and then two assistants. And I think it's that the healthcare workers, the field care workers, I think. The conditions are not good. And we did make a turn there. Mind you, we were there with another project where we had to do some work with kids, and then we just stumbled across this, and then it pained me. This is why I made the clip. The nurses are not on time, or the nurse is not on time. Once they are done with their shift, they're done with their shift. Whether you come there after 10 o'clock or let's say 9 o'clock in the evening and you have a crisis, usually the behavior or the treatment is not kind. So they have learned to just respect. Now, these are people who have been repatriated. They had to denounce their citizenship because they felt that coming back home would be much better compared to where they were in Botswana because of various reasons that they also, or situations that they had gone through when they were in Botswana. They are humble, they are kind, obviously strong willed, but also they have this notion of wanting to really live a proper life. Now, mind you, let's say you grew up in another country, you studied in another country, like all your school's life, and then you studied, you were working there, you had all this set up, your house, everything, things that you couldn't move this side. And finding a job in Namibia is already as very difficult. You have a population here with a high unemployment rate. Now you come, there's also a bigger struggle to find employment because of the qualifications and all of that. So there's quite a few barriers that these people are struggling with. My plea is, can we do better? And we could look into various things. The first two biggest things for me are creating a shade space. The kids are there, they're playing. It's hot. When it rains, it's wet. There's no proper shade nets where these kids can just play during the day. When they're in the tents for their makeshift primary school, pre-primary school with the alphabets, they usually have to wake up early, be there, and once it gets very hot, then they have to go outside and then just play. And I was amazed because they could sing the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I actually joined them. I was like, Okay, kids can always adopt, and kids are very resilient. They do best with what they have. It was two little girls. I think they were like 5 years old. And then the older kids have to walk from the camp to the high school, which is the maybe 3-4 kilometers in the heat. There's no transport. The water in Gum itself is an issue. I think Ministry of Works is aware, with blockages, and water only comes at a specific time and they have to collect water and then it's off again. At the school there's no running water, the toilets are clogged, it's filthy, and I'm talking about the hostels. It's so filthy. So help there could look like, assisting with the chemicals that one buy for the toilets that are clogged, so that you can clear that up. Also building a shade at the school, so that when the kids are eating and some of the kids are in the dining room, they can actually sit somewhere. Creating or building extra chairs, fixing the doors of the schools. And do not ask what all the ministries are doing. I don't know. I'm coming as an activist, as somebody with passion for people. These are some of the things. I did say we could start a GoFundMe, like $100 Namibian, and they have a committee in GAM that is about collection. It's about getting things done. A few things are being done. Like they are trying to reach out and trying to make sure that kids are getting their, what is it, their grants if they are orphans or so. But from Gam to Tumkwe, which is the next town, is 100 kilometers, and that's driving through a conservancy, because there are elephants and all these animals. So alternatively, it would be like going to the other side, which is, I have no idea how many kilometers that is, because that's going to a Shinene and a Bukiro. We can help with the little that is there. Ministry of Gender could come in if there's somebody who's very willing and able to contribute toys, stationaries, things for the pre-primary school, especially at the camp. That would be so cool, because there is a teacher who's willing to teach and they're just not sitting idle. There is a young guy who's a carpenter who tries and build things like cupboards with whatever wood stuff they get. They are not just sitting idle there. There has been promises made and they are waiting for people to come back upon their promise. But some people are talking about people from GAM always just want to be helped and they don't want to do anything. Imagine if you're in a foreign country and you've been told this and this is going to happen and you have no idea when it's happening. You just sit and wait. They do receive food per family, which is the maize meal, fish, I think, tin fish, and cooking oil. But again, it doesn't last long, because again, they don't have their own money to buy things. And even in Gam itself, there aren't many shops there to do grocery shopping. So please be kind, be mindful. There's a lot we can do for humanity, and this is some of the things that we can do to help. And you can reach out to me and I can put you in contact with them, so that you see how and where you can assist. Um, this is not to trash the government or anything, but it's reaching out to anybody who can assist, so that we just help them live a little bit comfortable, by welcoming them back home. I mean, it's not just up to the government. We are there as well to assist. And yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, and put emphasis on why it's really sad, seeing small kids just running bare feet in the sun, and they're just happy, or they're sitting under a tree and they're playing with what they can. We could sponsor some things. Okay. Thank you for listening, and be kind, be mindful, and always take care of your mental health. I'll see you next time.